Jazz went ahead and gave Lauri Markkanen that break. End up signing Lauri Markkanen to a max extension. I got Stevo here with me, and we're going to talk about it and break it down right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of NBA Central, your number one spot for everything NBA. I'm your host here, Bobby. I'm joined by my brother, Stevo is in the building. What's up, my guy?
What's the word? What's the word, man? Getting paid today. That's the word.
He definitely getting paid today. Lauri Markkanen just went up there and re-upped and signed him a max contract with the Utah Jazz, which don't pay him nicely. 225 million, my guy, is what this young fella Lauri Markkanen is gonna get in this new deal. Stevo, how you feeling about the new signing for the Utah Jazz?
To me, it was well expected. I mean, I know we had that little brief moment where they put him on the trading market and they was looking for some suitors for him. We did an episode talking about he could potentially go to possibly OKC or San Antonio or other teams. But I just knew, like, with the current situation of the Utah Jazz, they kind of in that limbo space where they got a ton of young talent that's not really necessarily trying to win right now. They more trying to figure it out. And right now, this is your most talented player. I don't know if you want to consider him the main centerpiece, but he can be a piece of part of the core that you potentially build in the future. He's still young enough to do so. So especially with now he did his whole army thing is over with now, so he ain't got to worry about that anymore. But the dude is only what 24 years old, 25 years old.
Young guy.
Average yeah, pretty did what he had to do on the young team. He averaged 25 last year, which gave him the most improved player award. And then this year he dropped down a little bit to 23.2. But with this team that they got right now, like you said, I think it's a nice deal, knowing that you got Jordan Clarkson, who just signed a deal, I believe either last year or in the middle of the season of this year. I forget, but I know he signed a deal. So you got him on the books. I don't know what they're gonna do with John Collins. That could possibly be an expendable play, but you still got I think it's Azerbaijan out of Kansas there. Keontae George, who's coming into his second year here. You just drafted Cody Williams, so I think it was pretty expected. He's your most best player on the team. He's one of your most talented players. Getting the money he deserves because he's gonna get paid somewhere else. Either way.
For sure. I think this is one of the moves that it was definitely a tough decision that you had to think about. I know that it was reports that came out there saying that Lauri Markkanen could potentially end up in Golden State, but Danny Ainge did not necessarily like what Golden State was trying to give him. It was reported that they was trying to get pods from Golden State, but that's a no-go for Golden State
Hell
because
no.
they see him grow and they let Klay Thompson walk, in my opinion, in favor of him. So when you talk about the players that you keep on the squad, I believe Lauri Markkanen is one of those players that you hit it right on the head. He might not be, the de facto guy that you're going to continue to build this thing around, but he can be a key piece to the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like if you're looking at Minnesota, Karl Anthony Towns was the guy for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Then they found their one. And
Yep.
Karl Anthony Towns is a good complement to what Anthony Harris want to do. So this could be the similar situation. You re-up on this young guy at 27 years old now in his career, still well within his prime and much
Entering
improved.
his prime, honestly.
Yeah, much improved over the last few years. Not a real injury prone guy. So I look at it as a good investment. Stevo, but when we talk about the team, I know you mentioned a few of the young players, John Collins, Jordan Clarkson, Colin Sexton, Walker Kessler. I know obviously they still got a lot of work to do. But do you see this team as kind of being at the bottom of the West right now?
Yeah. They're gonna be at the bottom of the West for a couple of years. Like unless you make big move, which is not likely to do, they're gonna be in that moment of like I said before we went on live. They just kind of in the era of they like the baby OKC. Like they're in a small market, not too many star players or players period are gonna want to come there. And most of the time, if you want that player, you're gonna have to trade for them. So they have the picks to do so, or they could go the route of the OKC, stack up on picks, build your team through the draft, which they did. And they actually had to go make that trade for SGA, which they used some of that picks for. So you lock this dude down, you got a couple more picks in your threshold. So if you see somebody potentially that you could think could be that guy or a piece to add on, go do it. Because to me, because there's so many talented players that's still young, and I feel like you have a lot of people that you could possibly move off on to get some value, such as a John Collins, such as probably a Colin Sexton, even maybe even we even forget that they got Walker Kessler there, so he could be a piece as well that you probably got paid down the line as well. So you have a lot of things at your disposal to do so, but I think they need to realize and really study what the OKC team, Denver's, all the smart market teams and how they became great teams. And most of the time is through the draft and making pivotal key trades with the picks that they have.
That's a great point too, because if we're looking at the future draft picks that the Utah Jazz got in 2025, Stevo, they could potentially have 3 first-round picks, bro. And because they're gonna receive one from Cleveland, another one that's gonna come from Minnesota, and I believe that Minnesota one was part of that Rudy Gobert trade. And then if they keep their pick top 10 within the top 10, they will not have to send off that pick to OKC. So in my eyes, Danny Ainge know what to do. Danny Ainge is not going to be happy if they don't protect that pick, because we already know this is one of the deeper drafts in most, in recent years. And if you able to come into this with a guy like Danny Ainge and what I believe how good he, is and could potentially be moving forward for the Utah Jazz, you absolutely want to have 3 first-round picks so you can utilize them to continue to build out this team. And then next year, you can go ahead and come back to the drawing board and see how much ground you got to make up for competing out of the West. Because the West going to be interesting next year, because it could definitely be a couple teams that take that fall off, you know what I'm saying, depending on how it works out with the Clippers, with Kawhi, with Golden State, with, Draymond and Steph. Those would be some of the things I'll be looking out early. Yeah, the Pelicans, if they continue to hit those brick walls and stuff like that, because they picked up Murray over there.
Yep.
And that should be a great addition to him. But so we'll see what happens with that in the whole Zion situation for sure.
Right. Yeah, you never know how it's gonna go. But I do they finished 31 and 51 last year. So didn't make the playoffs. They was 12th in the West. I kind of see them just humming around that same point, being 13, 14, 12. They're gonna be that. They didn't really do anything besides draft Cody Williams. Besides that, they're pretty much the same standardized Utah team that we've seen. And if I'm me, I'm possibly training some players just to get worse, because like I said, when you have a possibility that you could get a Cooper Flag or an Ace Bailey on your team, alongside with you still got 2 other draft picks in the first round that you can move around with.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, the world is your oyster at that point.
For sure. If you was up in that front office making decisions, the first person that you trying to sell off is that Walker Kessler. You said it's John?
Yeah.
Why you
Walker is probably your centerpiece. He's the youngest player with probably the highest upside. For right now, I'm not moving away from Walker, or I'm not moving away from Keontae. Everybody else is expendable at that point.
For sure, because they definitely parted ways with
besides Court Clarkson,
Obaji. Yeah. They parted ways and sent him over to Toronto. Over there,
really?
Yeah, they sent them to Toronto. It was some little sneaky move that they did over there with Danny Ainge. That man is sneaky. He'll get you if you ain't looking on your P's and Q's. But I'm with you though. I think the first person that you absolutely try to move off of is John Collins, simply because of the money, which also could be a roadblock in trying to move him. Because he making $26 million per. I mean, I guess with the new money expected to come in. It is Atlanta fault for sure, because then they didn't want him right after they paid him, because he started.
I mean, they didn't want his ass while paying him. That was such a weird situation.
For real. Do you feel like these guys are still missing that point guard that they need? They also pick up Isaiah Collier as well.
They sure did. I feel like Colin is that point guard, but I don't think he's the point guard for them. I think Colin did all he could with this current team that he has. If you're not gonna build it somewhat around him, as saying he's gonna be the point guard in the future, which I don't feel like they really have done. Nah. So like I don't know what point guard is out there that they might see, or they just want to wait in the draft and see maybe if they get around the third or fourth pick, maybe Harper if he does well in college. Harper coming out of Rutgers can be a possible suitor for them. But yeah, like to me, they just got too many guards. Period. Like I
That's
said,
a
they got
fact.
Keontae, they got Colin, they got Chris Dunn, like they got Johnny Zane. Like they got a lot of guards on this roster. Still got Taylor Horton Tucker on this team. So like it's a
Right.
lot of guards on this team. So yeah, they need to pick a vision and a goal for how they want their guard to be, or just pick a guard in general that they want them to be the centerpiece of this team because they
For
really
real.
haven't shown it for anybody.
Yeah, because that's what I was gonna say. I think that they definitely absolutely need to hone in on what they want to be and what their guards rotations want to look like. I mean, you already got Walker Kessler, who I believe is excellent. He's definitely on the
Right.
rise. Lauri Markkanen, we know what he is, and you know the impact that he can have on the basketball court for the Utah Jazz specifically. But you got to get that. You got to have guards in this NBA that's able to put up points and defend, or you know what I'm saying, a combination of both, and take care of your basketball and not force so many turnovers out there. So I think that's gonna be
They got Corey Lewis Jr. too.
yeah, bro. They picked up some players, bro. They got a lot of they heavy in the guards, and it's kind of like I kind of see where the emphasis is. So are you basically saying with the additions right here with the all the guard additions, do you think Collins Sexton could be on his way out with John Collins?
Yeah. Hey, because I just feel like there's so many other teams that could benefit from Colin more than what this team is benefiting. Because Colin is a win now type of guard, win play to win type of guard. They ain't trying to win right now.
Yeah.
So it's like everything he didn't fought back from his ACL injury and everything. So I feel like him going to Miami, hell, before we had our situation, him possibly come to the Bulls. Like there's a lot of teams I can see Colin going to and being a nice guard for them.
I'm with you on that. And I think just because them definitely will be the two people that you consider, and that's John Collins and Collins Sexton. I'm just seeing how the other executives around the league view them, especially with now when you got to consider, you know what I'm saying, giving up
They'll be
picks.
able. I was about to
Huh?
say they'll be able to move Colin before they move John. I guarantee you.
Yeah, because that I think because Colin only getting about 18 million this year and
Yeah,
19 next year. So to me, for a guard at 26 years old, you know, with his play style and stuff, that's something you can work with more so than a forward that you don't even know is going to be healthy or necessarily thinks that he fits
good
your
enough.
squad. And I'm also exactly, and I'm trying to see like how these executives want to hold on to these draft picks because everybody see the banner behind me. My Chicago Bulls been trying to move players, that a player that's better than John Collins and Collins Sexton and Zach LaVine, and nobody want to move off the picks. And it seemed like Golden State, I don't know if they have their 2025 pick, but they didn't want to give up those a bunch of picks. You know what I'm
Nope.
saying? For Lauri Markkanen is what it appeared to look like.
Cause
So
it's a deep ass draft, so I understand why they ain't trying to move off no picks, but it's stingy around this time right now. It's quiet, so like that's why I'm surprised they even signed them. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I am surprised because it's a little weird right now. It's been a little quiet. You hearing little rumors around like, hey, we thought damn near maybe Bi might be in Utah by now, but
right. Do you think that would be a good fit though? I
hell
don't too
no.
much. No, exactly. So I was
I
like,
feel
what?
like he'll get traded there and even matter. like, uh, like yeah, like with him, I want him with a coach. I'm not too much of a fan of Will on this coaching staff. I need Bi with a coach. Like, I'm not like if Grant wasn't in Trailblazer, I like to see him in Trailblazers, but Grant there. So
Ooh,
like, I don't know.
I'm with you on that. I think that'll absolutely be a decent ass fit over there, especially if you can get Grant out the way, that'll be good for you for sure. Because
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, Jeremy Grant, he an older guy with a contract that they paid him too. They paid him, so you might
paid
have to
him
just you know what I'm saying
hefty.
thug it out. You know what I'm saying? They gave him a nice price tag, so I'm with you on that. But Bi, hopefully he can find himself a good spot to where he could thrive in. Honestly, they might,
Yeah.
try to keep him. Who knows?
I mean, it's tough because I always said, like, when Zion came on the map, they was gonna have to pick between the two because they two different type of players, but at the same time they occupy the same realm of spacing when it comes to scoring because they can score all over the place. Mainly BI can. So if Zion on fire getting touches all day, it's gonna throw BI off. So I need BI somewhere like, I don't know, like maybe down the line, Jimmy Butler's like low key going down. Maybe go to the Heat. I don't know. Make that.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Put Spo with BI skill set next to Spo. Yeah, he gonna be able to do some
With
work.
the Heat
And
culture,
the size and the length with the Heat culture, with Khalil Ware, with Bam Adebayo, and whoever else they bringing up. Because I believe they got a nice young point guard over there, or a nice player at least in Jovic. He took us a step forward, so that'll be real entertaining. But nonetheless, you got anything left to talk about this Lauri Markkanen stuff?
it's probably the last video y'all hear us talk about Utah for a nice little minute. So I hope y'all Utah fans enjoy it. I ain't gonna like y'all just gonna be a turmoil for a nice little minute. I'm just prepare yourself.
How many years away are the Utah Jazz? Another
From
2 or 3?
Championship or being
Just being relevant.
3.
3? All right, I'll give it about 2 or 3 as well. But that's it from us, ladies and gentlemen. We just want to come in and bring the breaking news regarding the Utah Jazz signing forward Lauri Markkanen to the max extension, getting that young man paid. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel.
Buy Finland now.
Oh, the real. For real, though. But that's it from us, ladies.